Dear students, let us continue the chapter. We yesterday saw that uh, this is a story about the future schools, how they are going to impart the educations, and also we came to discuss about that there is a character in this story, that is Maggie, an 11-year-old girl who came to know about her that her friend Tommy had found a real book, and that was so surprising for anybody of her age, anybody of her period, and that's why she wrote it down in her diary, dated on the 17th of May, 2157. It was a very old book. Maggie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. So, obviously, this incident happens after 150 years. So, they're very surprised to see the books there. And as expected, the book was very old. The book was very old, and its color became yellowish in color there, because of its frequent, because of its use, because of its what to say, it's it is very old. That's why it became yellowish in color there. It was a very old book there. Remember those days, people would use telebooks there, they will use e-books there, and that's why they are unable to they may be having no idea about the real books there. So as suspected, the book was very old there, because no new books were printed on those days. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather, remember Maggie is an 11 years old girl, and Maggie's grandfather might be by this time nothing less than 50-55 years old. And remember, when he was a little boy of 10 years uh, or 5 years, that means about 50 years back, when his grandfather told him that when Margie's grandfather's grandfather, that means 100 years ago, uh, all the books were, all the stories were printed on the real books. Remember, it does not happen at the time of Maggie. It did not happen at that. It would not happen at the time of Maggie's parents, neither her grandparents. It happened when all the stories were printed on papers, on such books, the real books. When Margie's grandfather's grandfather was a child, so that was years ago. They turned the pages which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. So the important thing is there that they turned the pages. They had to, when the people used real books there, they had to turn the pages to go for the further reading. They had to turn the page, complete one reading of one page, then turn the page, then only you can read the next text there. But that is not the story with the telebooks there. That's not the story with the e-books there. In an e-book, what happens there, on the monitor, on the screen, the text may appear scrolling. It always keeps on moving there. So there is, the reader is not supposed to just turn the words there. The things whatsoever she or he wants to read will be going on through scrolling in front of his or her very eyes there. So there is no need of turning the leather. What is the important thing regarding these books there? They turn the pages which were yellow and crinkly. The people at that time, those who used these books, they turned the pages, and the pages were yellow and crinkly. By this time, the pages were yellow and crinkly. Yellow and crinkly means it is having many of the folds and lines because of the frequent uses there. And it was awfully funny to read words that stood still. The thing that was something different with that in case of these real books was that the words in the real book stood still. They did not move at all there, instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. But if they were on a screen, they were supposed to move. But here on the book, the letters, the words stood still on, that is the difference. You know, And then why they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it for the first time. And moreover, one more funny thing with this real book is that whenever they came back to the previous page, once they have completed reading the page, and once second time when they come back for reading the page again, they would find the very same words and very same texts, very same chapters, very same content in the in the page there. That was quite amazing. But if in a computer screen, when you see the message there, you come after a few minutes there, then you want to find on the very same screen, you want to find the very same text what you already had studied. But here, what is the amazing thing? Then when they turned back to the page before, when they turned the page before back once again, it had the same words, and the words what they already studied is not at all changed, were not at all changed, and they are the same words that it had when they read it for the first time. Whenever they read it for the first time, the very same word what they had learned at the first time, that very same words are still continuing there on the pages. That is the difference. But on a computer screen, the pages, the text, the words always keep on moving and changing.